My name is William Stahl. I am the project lead on Full Spectrum Warrior, which I will walk you through right now. What you are looking at is a standard Army dismounted light infantry squad. It is comprised of two teams. This team is Alpha Team. This team is Bravo Team. By simply pressing the B button on the Xbox controller, I move back and forth between the team leaders of both teams. In the field, as a squad leader, I give my orders to these individuals and they disseminate it to the rest of the team. It's called chain of command, and we simulate that in the game. If I can think and give orders faster than they can react, that's a real problem in the real world, and it's a problem in the game. Full Spectrum Warrior is based on fire and movement tactics. The first part of that is firing. In the real world, as a squad leader, I don't say, fire over here at this target, you fire over there at that car. What I do is I give the team a fire order or fire sector, and I do that by first pressing the yellow button or the Y button on the Xbox controller, and you'll see that it opens up this cursor system. I control this cursor with the left thumbstick, and when I move it back and forth, when I press the A or action button, I'm basically saying, Bravo team leader, I want your team to have a fire sector at this open aperture. So just by one button press, I've given the order, and you'll see how the team automatically reorients themselves on the terrain to get into a position where they can go eyes sighted. There's a very important distinction between eyes sighted and eyes not sighted. It has to do with reaction time. You'll notice that each man is not pointing the weapon into the back of the man in front of him. That would be what the Army calls negative training, is an incorrect posture. If I wanted them to guard this building back here for some reason, I could do it this quickly, just like that. You'll see that they all turn and reorient themselves to point in that direction and cover that building. You'll also notice that one man, Automatic Rifleman Private First Class Elias, is not pointing at the building, and that's deliberate. He doesn't want to do that because this man, Grenadier Private First Class Yang, is in his forward fire sector. If he were to raise that weapon and accidentally squeeze off a round, or with that weapon, which is a saw, he'd squeeze off about 5 or 6 rounds before he even realized it, he would put it into the head of that unit in front of him. So he goes unsighted. That is correct procedure. However, if someone were to appear in this building, he would raise that weapon and engage that target, but the reaction time of having to raise the weapon, whatever it is, 0.1, 0.2 seconds, is enough time to get somebody killed in the real world. So as the player, as a tactician, I need to really make sure that I put my men in a position where they can go all eyes sighted. I also have another problem here, which is that this entire team, their entire focus or field of fire is on this building. I have no one covering this rear sector. So if one man was going to run around the back of this mosque here and open up for 1 second, he could spray enough rounds with an AK-47 to kill everybody in this formation. So I'm going to solve both those problems now by using what's called the nudge feature. You'll notice on the left-hand side of the screen there's a dial pad that correlates to the directional pad on the Xbox controller. If I wanted to go to my Automatic Rifleman, Private First Class Elias, I would push in his direction, which is left, and you'll notice that I go right to him. And now that I'm with him, with the thumbstick, I can tell him to move backwards, I can tell him to move forward again, I can turn him around in place, and you'll notice how he goes to the sighted posture when a man is not in his fire sector. If I bring him around further, you'll notice as soon as the team leader gets in his field of view, he lowers that weapon. That's correct procedure. I'm going to bring Elias around, and I'm going to have him target the back of this mosque. I can have him sight high, I can have him sight low, I can have him sight a specific target. For instance, if I think there might be somebody in one of these windows or maybe along this roof line, I would just zoom in and press one button, A. And now when I come back out to the team level, where I primarily play this game, you'll notice that Elias is both sighted and also covering the rear flank, although I've had him cover specifically the roof of this rear flank. That's basically fire orders.